Coming up on Sports Extra, a top-ranked basketball showdown in Chapel Hill. UNC field hockey punches its ticket to the ACC championship, and how one UNC track and field alum is making an impact on the professional sports sidelines. All this and more, live from the Curtis Media Center.
From the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
It's always a good day to be a Tar Heel, but this morning it rings just a little truer.
That's absolutely right, Charlie. Men's basketball is on a tear. Women's basketball is 2-0, and UNC football is definitely improved. But hello and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Molly Malik.
And I'm Charlie Costal. So many wins to talk about, Molly, but only one ended up in a championship bout. North Carolina field hockey punched their ticket to the ACC championship game after defeating their Tobacco Road rival for the second time in a week. Danny Mendez wasted no time getting the Tar Heels on the board, finishing a feed from freshman Isabel Bohr less than 3 minutes into the match. Duke responded to even things up, but senior Riley Heck answered right back, netting her 17th goal of the season to put North Carolina back on top. The Tar Heels took control in the third quarter, and junior Sana Hawk sealed it late as North Carolina cruised into the championship with a 5-2 victory. Looking ahead, the Heels will be taking on the Virginia Cavaliers in the highly anticipated championship game. On Thursday, UVA overtook Syracuse in a 3-2 victory. Virginia's goalkeeper Nilu Lempers had a season-high 9 saves, and graduate student Suze Lehman scored her 5th goal of the season. Catch the match on the ACC Network at 3 p.m. To hear more about this high-stakes ACC Finals matchup, let's turn to Sophia Gray for Gray's game plan. Sophia?
Thanks, Charlie. Last week, I mentioned how North Carolina needed to capitalize on more opportunities heading into the postseason. The Tar Heels did just that yesterday. Against Duke, they found the back of the cage on half of their shots on goal. This is exactly the momentum North Carolina needs heading into today's ACC Finals. Now, Virginia will certainly be out for revenge. I mean, their only loss this season came in overtime against Carolina. It was a 1-0 heartbreak, but here's the thing. UVA's leading goal scorer, Mia Abello, only has 6 goals this year. Meanwhile, North Carolina brings a loaded attack with 4 different players surpassing that total significantly. Leading the pack, of course, is Riley Heck. She has 17 goals to her name, but another quick one to note is UVA transfer Danny Mendez, who has scored more than double of what her former teammate has earned. This depth and balance up front can be the difference maker today. But to do that, they'll have to get past goalkeeper Nilu Lempers, who has put together an outstanding season. She's the reason why UVA has the record that they do this season. The ACC Goalkeeper of the Year posted a career-high 9 saves against Syracuse yesterday, and she's been steady all year, boasting an 83% save rate and 62 total stops on the season. If North Carolina can keep up their sharp shooting and find ways to break through Lempers, the Tar Heels could very well capture the ACC crown today. But they could not have gotten this far without the help of 3 Tar Heels who have grown up more than 4,000 miles from Chapel Hill. Grace Nugent tells us how the Dutch connection is growing stronger each season at Karen Shelton Stadium.
Over 6,000 kilometers separate the Netherlands and Chapel Hill, a journey 3 UNC field hockey players know well.
I knew that I would love it. It was just the English was kind of holding me back. But then I was like, oh, I can do that. I can do this. I can speak. So why wouldn't I?
Hawk's decision came after meeting other international players, and one look at UNC's Instagram sealed the deal. Bohr also made the leap across the Atlantic with a little help from a hometown connection.
Sietske and I are from the same city, in the Netherlands, and our parents know each other, and they told my parents Sietske, she's enjoying it so much.
That Sietske is senior Sietske Bruning, the first of the Dutch trio to wear Carolina blue.
And then after 2 months, I decided that I wanted to stay for longer than 4 months because of the entire world here. The college experience, having your friends, like being your field hockey friends, but also having them in your class, living with them, like it's all like a bubble, like it almost doesn't feel like real life. And that was exactly kind of what I was looking for, whereas in the Netherlands it would have been more field hockey, field hockey, field hockey. And
Bruning brings the Netherlands here to Chapel Hill, both in the food she eats and her physical style of play.
Teammate probably has tried mayo with fries because I made them try it. And at first everyone looks weird at you, and then they're like, oh, this is actually pretty good. But it's like one of my signature like Dutch things.
Despite being far from home, these Tar Heels have turned international experience into winning. And Sietke's right. These fries with mayo really hit the spot. I'm Grace Nugent reporting.
Looks like the Dutch connection is paying off both on and off the field. And who knows, maybe fries with mayo might just catch on here too.
Later today, the North Carolina Tar Heels face the Kansas Jayhawks in a high-profile non-conference matchup at the Dean Smith Center. UNC enters the game coming off a strong win Monday against Central Arkansas when the Tar Heels showed off their depth and ball movement early. The mostly newly roster led by senior guard Seth Trimble and freshman forward Caleb Wilson. Transfer Kyan Evans adds scoring and pace to the backcourt, while forward Jaron Stevenson brings length and energy. Kansas also comes in with momentum after beating the Green Bay Phoenix on Tuesday, showcasing their balanced attack. Sophomore Flory Bedunga dominated inside, while newcomer Darren Peterson added scoring and speed on the perimeter. And returning senior Jaden Dawson brings veteran experience to the backcourt. Wilson's inside presence and Evans' drives could be what sets the tone for UNC, while Kansas looks to control the tempo. If UNC can limit turnovers and knock down perimeter shots, they can keep the momentum. But if Kansas settles into transition game, the Jayhawks may pull ahead down the stretch.
With all the hype around tonight's game, Nick Steed is at the Dean Dome to help fans prepare. How's it looking, Nick?
Thanks, Charlie. In about 8 hours, the Dean Smith Center will be packed with fans for a huge matchup between UNC and Kansas. And speaking of Dean Smith, he actually played college ball at Kansas before becoming a legendary coach here in Chapel Hill. Now, Roy Williams also has a connection with the two programs, leading Kansas to 4 Final Fours before returning to coach the Tar Heels. Now, UNC has lost the last 5 matchups against Kansas, with their last win over a non-Roy Williams coached Kansas team leading all the way back to 1981-82 season, where Dean Smith actually won his first national title with the Heels. Now, some of you guys may remember last year, Kansas beat the Heels by 3 in a nail-biter, giving a little deja vu of the national championship game back in 2022. But this year it feels a little different. With 13 new players, improved shooting, UNC's front court led by Caleb Wilson looks ready. Now, Kansas leads the all-time series 10-6, but if the Heels could slow down the Jayhawks star players, they could have a real shot tonight. Now let's toss it over to our basketball analyst, Grace Nugent, who's back in the studio. Grace?
Thanks, Nick. Number 19, Kansas, a white whale for the Tar Heels, comes to the Dean Dome tonight. Now let's look at 2 things that UNC did well in their opening victory against Central Arkansas that can help propel the Tar Heels to victory. Now, this team has no quarterback point guard, so they're really going to rely on big-to-big passing here. Let's watch this play out. Henry Vasar's got the ball. He dumps it to Kyan Evans. Back Vasar at the point. He's going to go out to Seth Trimble. Seth's going to go back up to the top of the key. Watch Wilson right there. He's going to lob it up to Vasar, who puts it in for a quick, easy 2 points for the Tar Heels. Now, they can do this on the other way, too. Watch here. Wilson's going to set the screen. Trimble's got the ball. He's going to decide, go back to Vasar, and then boom, right to Caleb Wilson for what's becoming the Caleb Wilson special here in Chapel Hill. They have ball screen continuity in this offense, continual cycles of reversing the ball and then running screens until the defense cracks. Another big part is going to be Luka Bogovac. He's finally on the court for UNC after some eligibility issues. His shot will come. He shot 45% with SC Derby last year, but let's look at him on the defensive side. Here he is, watch number 44. He's going to go. He's a great off-ball defender. He was able to force 3 turnovers in UNC's first game. Now let's look at the other guys, namely number 1 overall freshman Darren Peterson. Peterson put up 22 points in his debut. He was the Naismith Trophy High School Player of the Year. He has this effortless ability to score from all levels of the court. Now, Peterson's got a friend here for Kansas, and Flory Bedunga. Watch him right there. Flory's going to kick it out. Peterson takes this shot and makes it. They look like a potentially dominant inside-outside duo for Kansas. This is a must-watch game. It's Q1. It's a huge chance for UNC to make a national statement. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Grace. Coach Davis found out about Luca's eligibility to play just shortly before the game on Monday, and he still made a great showing, but he wasn't the only one dropping doubles on the court. Redshirt freshman Sierra Toomey hopped off the bench last night for 12 rebounds in their matchup against Elon. And that's right, 11th ranked UNC women's basketball faced Elon last night in Carmichael Arena. The Heels were slow off their blocks, but their defense became the catalyst for their offense. A steal, then a fast break from India Navarre was the shift in momentum the Heels needed to take the lead. Late in the third quarter, the Heels found their offensive rhythm. Renaya Kelly made a steal, then a fast break with an assist to Navarre. Now the Heels were on a hot streak. Up big at the end of the third quarter, by the fourth quarter, their offense felt fluid, and Alina Arnie-Salou went big with a behind-the-back assist to Talia Henderson for the layup. They sailed past Elon for the win, 71-37.
We need to strengthen that communication and just mentally knowing who's going to be where, and I think that'll be fun to work on. And also it's just about communication. I think in the play sometimes we'll get caught up on who's the 4, who's the 5, and we just need to clean that up.
You know, Charlie, a win is a win, but only 15% from the 3, I don't know.
A little disappointing, I would agree. To give them some credit, though, they did go 3 for 5 in the fourth quarter, and I'm no math major, but to do that math, that means they were shooting 5% from range before that. So it's definitely an area they can look to improve.
Well, speaking of improvement, coming off their win versus Syracuse, the football team returns to Kenan Stadium looking for another conference victory. All eyes are on these teams' quarterbacks to see who will prevail, with Stanford recently announcing that redshirt freshman Elijah Brown will get his first start this season, and Gio Lopez at the helm for the Tar Heels. Brown has been at quarterback only in relief of starter Ben Goldbrinson throughout the season, but has completed 19 out of his 31 pass attempts for 218 yards and a touchdown. Lopez had a 79% completion rate and 2 passing touchdowns when the team played Syracuse. Kickoff is Saturday at 4:30.
The Tar Heel men's soccer team traveled up to Indiana on Wednesday to face Notre Dame for the opening round of the ACC tournament. An early push by the UNC attack paid off, netting a pair of goals, while freshman Charlie Antonilius recorded the first score of his Carolina career. Both teams found the back of the net in the second half to secure the Tar Heels 3-1 to advance to the quarterfinals.
Carolina men's club soccer is another one of UNC's successful club teams. Paige Miller tells us more.
The UNC men's club soccer team has kicked off for the 2025 fall semester, hoping to have yet another successful season. The team provides an outlet for UNC students and an opportunity to compete at a high level. Co-Vice President Ewan Gath explains how, although they didn't grow up playing together, the team's competitive nature and ability to play cohesively contributes to their success.
I'd say pretty competitive. Most guys on the team could have definitely played college soccer at some level, whether it was D1, D3, D2. I think everyone here is a very good player. The tryouts are super competitive, so yeah.
Ewan's hopes are not far-fetched with the team's success last season.
We're really competitive. So last year we went to Gainesville for regionals and then Austin, Texas for nationals. We're in the process right now. We're in our regular season, so we're playing between 6 and 10 games, and then we're hoping to qualify for regionals again and nationals hopefully as well.
Quinn explains that the key to success is maintaining a positive team culture.
Doing stuff outside of soccer. You know, everyone's a college student. Everybody wants to do stuff and play soccer. You got to get to know the guys on the team somehow. So best way to do it is just hang out with the guys outside of practice, go do other stuff, go out together, just stuff like that.
Although club soccer fosters a motivated and determined environment, the relationships and camaraderie are what players really value. The team's commitment.
Soccer continues to serve as an outlet with their competitive spirit and close-knit community. 4 Tar Heels are on the ACC
Women's Soccer All-Conference team. Junior Olivia Thomas headlines the group named first team All-ACC after leading Carolina with 13 goals. Kate Fossey, the reigning Herman Trophy winner, landed on the 3rd team alongside midfielder Linda Olmark, who's been the Tar Heels' key playmaker this season. And rounding out the honors, freshman Hope Munson earned all-freshman team recognition. Now, Molly, 4 players to make ACC honors is a great number, but last year we did have 6, and I think it comes down to the team cohesion. There's a lot of stars on the team, but they need to start playing a little bit more like a team.
But you know what team is cohesive, Charlie? That is our volleyball team, who is coming off a tough loss to number 4 Pitt, and they will be playing on Stanford on Saturday, or tonight, excuse me. Number 5 Stanford tonight in California. And Carolina needs to lock down on defense and offense with a sharp back row and a consistent frontline attack. Junior outside hitter Sophie Hampton is leading the attack with more than 3 kills per set. But Stanford brings power too. Middle blocker Lizzie Andrew is coming off a strong match against Wake Forest with 9 kills and 4 blocks. First serve is at 7. After Stanford, the Heels take on Cal Berkeley on Sunday afternoon. The Bears are led by junior libero Sophia Johnson and senior middle blocker Michaela Harris, who will try to stop UNC's powerful offensive attack. This will be the Tar Heels' first ever West Coast ACC trip, as they hope to continue to capitalize on their defensive prowess, led by middle blocker and ACC Defensive Player of the Week, Lauren Shutter. For more about this crucial West Coast matchup, let's toss it over to volleyball analyst Bethany Pryor for Passes with Pryor. Bethany?
As we mentioned earlier, we have a huge matchup today against number 5 Stanford. Now I want to take a look at 2 key players that are going to be important in this game. We're going to start with Stanford's Aaliyah Rubin. She's a 6'1" outside with 243 kills with a .295 hit percentage. Now Sophie Hampton on UNC's side, we talk about her a lot. She's a powerhouse 6'1" outside with 301 kills this season and a .269 kill percentage. So those 2 outsides, really comparable, but I'm really excited to see how Aaliyah Rubin fares up against UNC. Now let's take a look at some of her plays. This ball is going to be very strategic. That's what makes her a good outside. She's strategic and she's smart. She uses the other team's court to get the kill. So let's look at how she uses the block right here. She's way up above the block. She definitely could swing it down to the 4 spot right between the right side and the libero, but what she does is she uses the block. She tools the block, sending it to the back line, and the Florida State had nothing on it. Now let's take a look at one of her other plays. The block is going to be slow to close. It takes a lot of processing during the play to see the hole in the block, and she does this beautifully here. Look at her swing right through it. The libero and the middle back don't even know what to do. They just stand up and take the kill. But we can't forget about UNC's powerhouse, Sophie Hampton. Sophie Hampton is just as smart, if not smarter. So let's take a look at some of her plays against SMU. This is a top 10 matchup. Stanford hasn't beat a top 10 team this season. So let's take a look at how Sophie Hampton got these kills against SMU. Now this is an out-of-system ball from Haley Pierce, and she sends that ball out to Sophie Hampton. It's really high. She has a lot of time to think, and she uses her hand and her snap to send that ball right between the right side and the libero. That's an impossible ball to save. Now Sophie Hampton is known for her back row attacks. Let's look at this. Her vertical is insane. She uses her power to swing it. They just can't, they have nothing on her. No one can receive her hits. That's what makes Sophie Hampton so special. I'm really excited to see this matchup tonight and see how UNC fares up against Stanford. Back to you guys.
Fans are really looking forward to seeing how this matchup goes. Thanks, Bethany.
You know, Molly, it's been a tough road these past couple games for the UNC volleyball team. It was a 2-3 loss against number 4 Pitt. They played better in that game than against number 8 Louisville, which they dropped 1-3.
This is true, but you have to give them credit. They are building momentum. They're learning from their mistakes, and I think that it might just be a Cinderella story.
Agreed, and they're not the only ones looking to finish strong on the court, even though this next team might not be the dark horses. On Thursday, the Heels won 2 of their 3 scheduled singles matches in women's tennis. Alanis Hamilton won 6-2, 6-0, and Thea Rabman didn't allow her opponent to win a single game. They hope to continue this momentum in the quarterfinals today. And on the men's side, the men's tennis team heads into the second round of play after a doubles sweep and 3 dominant singles wins. In doubles, the sophomore duo Anthony Wright and Nick Mangiapane beat their Boston College opponents 6-1 and 6-3 to qualify for the next round of play. In singles, freshman Ian Mayu clinched a win against Clemson's 25th-ranked Noah Vukadin.
UNC Wrestling takes on the University of Northern Colorado Sunday at noon in Carmichael Arena. Heading into this matchup, UNC had a great run at the Southeast Open with 11 heels placing, and that's the other. UNC is going to be their second match of the season only after facing NC State on Saturday in Raleigh.
This weekend, the Tar Heel swim team hits the road to Columbia, ready to make a big statement in the pool. Keep your eyes on senior Josh Parent, who clocked a 9:03.19 to win the 1,000-yard free versus Virginia. Earlier, UNC's men crushed the Blue Devils 205-95. On the women's side, sophomore Lily Reeder posted a personal best 16:19.74 in the 1650 free. Meanwhile, freshman diver Lainey Gutsch shined in the platform prelims.
The UNC women's rowing team is heading to Charlottesville, Virginia this weekend for the annual Riviana Romp. The team aims to showcase their work and offer a glimpse of what the upcoming spring season might hold. The Heels will take on Minnesota, Virginia, Navy, Old Dominion, and Georgetown. With a full slate of UNC athletics ahead, our sports betting analyst Dylan Stalter joins us to give us his best picks for the weekend.
It is great to be back, guys. It was just 1 year ago I made my Sports Extra debut with this same basketball matchup. We went 3 for 3, which not only meant that you guys made money, but I got to keep my job. So we're back again 1 year later for the rematch with 3 more picks for you guys, starting with the total over in tonight's basketball game. These guys combined for over 180 the last time they played. UNC may have a legit face-up post presence with Caleb Wilson in town, and depth shooting from guys like Bogovas give the Heels threats from all over the court. But Kansas has a young stud of their own in Darren Peterson. Him and Flory Badunga were very efficient from the floor on Monday, so tonight's matchup certainly won't lack bucket getters. And for pick number 2, we're going to head to Keenan, where we're taking the Stanford team under at 17.5. Now, I don't want to jump the gun just yet, but the Heels are finally looking like a Belichick defense. They put up a scoreless second half against a ranked Virginia team and held Syracuse to just 3 offensive points last week. Matched up against a Stanford offense that's dead last in the ACC in points per game, I just don't see the Cardinal putting 3 scores on the board. And to wrap things up, yes, you can bet on college volleyball, and we're taking UNC to cover 2.5 sets against Stanford. They just need to win 1 set, and we win. This past weekend, they took down number 7 SMU and fought tooth and nail with 3rd-ranked Pitt. They haven't been swept all year, and I wouldn't bet on that starting today. So that's what we're rocking with this weekend, so have fun, and as always, please gamble responsibly.
As always, thanks for the picks, Dylan, but I'm not quite sure about that Stanford bet. They put up 20 against a 7-2 Pitt, so I think my bank might be calling me, telling me to hammer that over.
You know, I don't know much about betting, Charlie, but I would bet on UNC producing some great alumni. Let's hear from reporter JD Ruth about how former Tar Heel Kendra Douglas is bringing Carolina excellence into the professional field.
Kendra Douglas is busy as a professional sideline reporter.
I'm the sideline reporter for the Orlando Magic, and I also sideline on FanDuel Sports Network, and I also work college football for ACC Network.
All right, here with Jordan Ship. Jordan, how important was it for this team to come out strong and get your first win home here at Kenan Stadium?
Kendra came to UNC to run track and field and study in the journalism program.
They did prepare me for everything. They prepared me for the wins, the losses, and the possibilities that you might not hear back from, a news director. Dr. T actually helped me get my first job, and it was working for Spectrum News, working in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I got to do both news and sports.
After spending time in Wilmington, Kendra moved to Wichita, Kansas, where she had the opportunity to closely follow the Kansas City Chiefs and young quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
Let me tell you, this man is just making a name for himself out here at Arrowhead Stadium. Kendra Douglas, KSN Sports.
From there, Kendra's success skyrocketed.
Got to cover Tom Brady and his Super Bowl run, and then also his retirement. And then I got to cover the Orlando Magic as well when I worked at WESH. I love just kind of being able to talk with players and tell their stories. That's my job. I get to share amazing stories about athletes every single day, literally every single day. And I think that's been so rewarding and so fun because I was an athlete that wanted to share my story.
Thanks, JD Ruth. The Hussman School has many opportunities to help students succeed after graduation.
And to close out a thrilling week of Carolina athletics, let's take a look at our picks for Play of the Week. And our winner, standing at 6 feet 10 inches tall and racking up 23 points, Caleb Wilson is taking home his first Play of the Week honor with this powerful dunk against Winston-Salem State. Off a heads-up possession-saving play, Caleb takes it right back up with this statement of a one-hander.
You know, Charlie, Caleb Wilson is nearly 2 feet taller than I am.
Yeah, Molly, I'm not sure about your odds guarding him in the post.
You know, but it has always been my dream to dunk, so maybe you can help me out.
Like a boost?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's try it.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to get a head start out here. All right, you got me?
3,
2,
1, and I'm going to bail. That does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
We'll be back on Monday with a recap of another exciting weekend of Carolina athletics.